I got that California.
What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotics, bringing you our Week 2 battle for the ICBA. Today we're facing off against Splurge, coach of the Bracknell Beedrills, a coach we've only played one other time before in the past, and that was in the BBL in season number 2. We managed to pick up a win over there. That game, if I remember, was the game we brought that sub Dialga that really put in a lot of work and really busted through his team. And hopefully we can have the same success with our Uber in this league, being Protein Greninja, that we had in the BBL. So yeah, we'll just go over the teams really quickly. I'll go over what I decided to bring, and you'll kind of notice, I guess, a trend going on with it. And I don't know, I'd like you guys to guess what it is, but then after a while, I'll just kind of just say what the trend is. So to start off, we have a team of Protein Greninja with Z-moves, Mega Gallade, Zapdos, Salamence with Z-moves, Sylveon, Donphan, Salazzle, Escavalier, Mismagius, Pinsir, and Lantern, while our opponent has a team of Mega Latias, Celesteela, Tapu Bulu with Z-moves, which is actually a Z captain, so you can use like a, I don't know, Z weather, sunny day, I think gets that, or sandstorm, whatever it may be. He has Suicune as well, Hawlucha, so he's got the scary terrain Hawlucha combo. He's got Tentacruel as well, which is really good with Tapu Bulu because Tentacruel obviously lacks reliable recovery, and it also is weak to ground, so Tapu Bulu can help with its terrain, and obviously give recovery as well. He's got Palossand, which is his only rocker on the team, so it's very important. It's also his only ground type. He's got Moltres then, which is another Z captain, so Z Sunny Day could be coming, which is definitely a threat. He's then got Slurpuff, Sneasel, which is another Z user, and then Emolga, his final Z user. Now looking at this team, the only Pokemon that did not come to the mocks today, I did 2 mocks, shout out to Ziff and Granbell, or Granbell rather. So the only mons that didn't come was the Moltres and the Emolga. Everything else showed up, so he definitely has a couple options that he can use against me, which is kind of terrifying. But yeah, he's got a lot of options, but his team definitely has weaknesses to a few Pokemon, as Julia's doing some laundry. So if you hear any beeping, sorry about that. But yeah, so I'll get into the team that we actually brought. So to start off, our first Pokemon is going to be our Zapdos here. I'm nicknaming it Suffering. It's making its season debut. Suffering is because, well, obviously people like the name Zapdos Tweety after Tweety Bird from, I think it's Looney Tunes is what it is? Yeah. But is it Looney Tunes? I don't think it's Looney Tunes. I think it's, is it? Yeah, it might be Looney Tunes. Tweety. I'm gonna look it up and make sure. Tweety Bird series. Where is it from? Tweety Bird is from, yeah, Looney Tunes. What am I saying? Okay, so yeah, so obviously Tweety Bird is a very common Zapdos nickname, but I didn't want to be as standard. I know I used to name it Tweety, but I was thinking, you know what? The cat that's always chasing Tweety always says Sufferin' Succotash, so I'm gonna call this Sufferin', and that's what we have here. So our Zapdos is very interesting. I worked very hard on this spread, and actually is very, very good. We have a Bold Nature with 172 HP, 20 EVs in attack, even though we are a Bold Nature. We have 252 in defense, 4 in special attack, and 60 in speed. Our moveset is Discharge, U-Turn, Roost, and Toxic. Now, this spread, what it does is, first off, Zapdos is never O-code ever by Adamant, Band, Bulu, Stone Edge. Very important here that we can U-turn out, or we can, let's say we decide to get Toxic on it, and then we decide to switch out. Let's say our Discharge just doesn't pick up the kill. We can live the hit still, go for another hit, and then take it out. We also outspeed Adamant Bulu as well, which is very important. We won't drop to a Jolly one, a Jolly Stone Edge, but we outspeed an Adamant Bulu, which is very nice. Our attack stat with our Expert Belt allows me to always break max HP's Mega Latias' substitute with U-turn. Very important. I felt like he could bring a subset. I didn't think it was going to be that likely, but still doing a guaranteed 25% minimum to Mega Latias is very important, especially if it's coming in on rocks, take other hits. Maybe it doesn't have Recover or Roost, so who knows. Just getting that 25% off is very important, especially if he might be a Calm Mindset. We also make it so there's only one possible roll that an Adamant +2 Hawlucha Stone Edge OHKOs us. So it's literally a 6% chance to pick up a KO with a +2 Stone Edge from Hawlucha, and we OHKO back with Discharge. So yeah, if you look at this team, especially the team that he brought, what takes the combination of Discharge and U-turn not super effectively? It's just Bulu, and I have Toxic for that. Like Discharge, U-turn, Discharge, U-turn, U-turn. I literally just click those moves over and over and over, and I pick up kills, and I just get momentum with Zapdos. So it's insanely good, this matchup. Next up, we have our Greninja here, which is also Expert Belt this week. I have Speed here. I believe it is for I think it's for the Hawlucha, just a Jolly Hawlucha, just to be safe. Maybe he's running a Limber Choice Band Hawlucha like I ran once, and who knows, it could be really useful. We hit everything on his team with our moveset super effectively. That's why I'm running the E-Belt. We actually only need 3 moves for that. We need Hidden Power Electric, U-Turn, Ice Beam, and I decided I want to put on Spikes, but then I said, you know what, Hawlucha could be kind of scary, so I'm going to put on Water Shark instead, just as a little backup, and maybe you never know, it could come in handy against the Sneasel as well, just off a potential Ice Shard, so very, very useful there. So I have that. Our next move, we hit everything on the team perfectly except for the Slurpuff. Our next mon is going to be our Mega Gallade here, Texas Man. We are max attack, max speed. I'm speed tying the Latias here. I would like to have more investment to special defense because I can definitely set up all over a Suicune with a substitute. But unfortunately, I felt like I need to have the speed for Mega Latias. But we have Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Bulk Up, and Knock Off here. Very strong against his team. I believe after +1 defense after a Bulk Up. The reason this is why I'm running Bulk Up over Swords Dance. We will always live a plus. We'll always live a we'll always live a neutral acrobatics from a Hawlucha without its item. So it's very important. Next up, we have our Sylveon here, and this is the last one I was like 100% sure I definitely wanted to bring. And we're running a Calm Natured Sylveon with 244 in HP and defense and 20 in special defense with Heal Bell, Wish, Baton Pass, and Hyper Voice. It's a very good pivot this week because it really forces in the Celesteela, forces in the Tentacruel, forces in a lot of his mons that might want to come in on me, and I can just Baton Pass out, which is great. We also have slow Baton Pass, so we can just fire off a Wish. We, let's say, take hits from whatever he wants to go into. Let's say we'll take hits from the Suicune for days, and then we can just Baton Pass, take the hit, Baton Pass into our Zapdos or something, and heal that thing up without having to use Roost on that. So our set is also never 2-KO'd by Life Force, Sneasel's Icicle Crash, or Adamant +2 Hawlucha's or Adamant +2 Hawlucha's Acrobatics. So we never died that. The max does is 99%. So after Rocks, obviously, it's going to do a ton of damage to us, but hopefully we can live it. I know it's a roll. If I decide to go max defense, max HP, that discussion came up in the mock. It would drop the chance from like 60% of getting O-code after Rocks to 30%, and it actually made it so that, or not 30%, 20%, but it made me decide I was going to put Rapid Spin on my Donphan, but that's besides the point. We also always O-code back Sneasel and Lucha with Hyper Voice no matter what. We also always 2-KO in max HP Mega Latias, and we are never 2-KO'd by Modest Psyshock, which is very important as well. Next up, we have our Mismagius here, which has speed for base 100s, just in case he's max speed Tentacruel. I don't know why he would be, but, you know, just be safe. I've seen Scarf Tentacruel put in work, and I just don't want that happening to me. Tentacruel is a very annoying Pokemon, so I just want to get rid of it pretty quickly. We have Will-O-Wisp here for the Tapu Bulu and the Sneasel, which is very good against his team if I'm not at +2. Obviously, the Sneasel could be kind of scary, so because of that, I have the Culver Berry, but we're running Shadow Ball, T-Bolt, Nasty Plot, and Will-O-Wisp. And again, we have that Culver Berry to take those knockoffs from the Sneasel. Our last mon, again, I was really unsure about the Mismagius, but I kind of decided, you know what, if I leave this thing, it could be really devastating. I can just basically pick up a kill almost guaranteed. So I decided to go with that. And then we have our Donphan, Goodyear here with the Rocky Helmet again. I'm running Stealth Rock, Play Rough. I had Rock Tomb, but I changed it to Rapid Spin, and I have Poison Jab. I originally was thinking, I want to be a Scarf Donphan, be great against this team. It can do tons of damage to the Mega Latias with Play Rough, but it didn't end up happening. I decided to end up going with Rocky Helmet because it would help me deal with the Hawlucha a little bit more. It would also deal with the Sneasel just a little bit if he wants to go for knockoffs. And unfortunately for me, my EV spreads are kind of wonky. I originally had max HP, Adamant Nature, 16 attack, 180 in defense, like just stuff like that to basically make sure that I can always OHKO max HP Bulu's. I can always OHKO max HP Bulu with Poison Jab, which is very, very important after they take helmet damage at least. So they go for Horn Leech, bring me down to my Sturdy. They take 17% from Helmet. I go for Poison Jab, and I always break the KO the Bulu. But I kind of said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I felt like I need something better because how scary Sneasel started being in my mock. So I'm going to try and find it. So my new set in reality is 172 in HP and defense, HP and attack. We then have 156 in defense with an Impish Nature, and then 4 in our last two stats. This allows us to, honestly, the calc was wrong because I didn't do like a good job on it because Rocky Helmet doesn't show up on the damage calc as an item. So the whole point was I wanted to make sure that I could take a Sneasel's knockoff into Icicle Crash after Rocks 100% of the time. And I could if I didn't have an item or I had a Z Crystal. But obviously Rocky Helmet doesn't count and he would do more damage with knockoff. So it is what it is, and that's our team. It has been way long enough right now. I'm very sorry for the wait, but we'll go ahead and we'll get right into it. So you see right here, he brought a team of Suicune, Tentacruel, what is this thing called? Sneasel, Celesteela, Tapu Bulu, and the Mega Latias, and I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Mismagius, and basically Nasty Plot turn 1. It's really good against him, and oh yeah, if you guys didn't notice the pattern that it was that his team is super weak to Bolt Beam. Like, it just drops. Everything on his team right now is just drops to Bolt Beam coverage, except for the Sneasel, which just drops to anything, really. So I lead off with my Miss Maggie's. He leads off with his Suicune. This is a very long battle, guys, so enjoy. He is going to be able to get his pressure going. I'm going to go for the nasty plot here and obviously get the +2. This is really good against this team because obviously I can just start obliterating things. I have super effective coverage for everything except for the Sneasel and the Bulu, which I can Will-O-Wisp both of them. And I just want to just like break holes through his team. For some reason though, he decides to go for the Whirlpool there. I don't know why, and I basically assume he has the Toxic now and the leftovers on his spread. But I don't know if he's going to have room for Calm Mind and Rest and Sleep Talk. He's probably going to have Rest, but I don't know. Right here, I decided to go for the T-Bolt, and this is a definite misplay. I should have definitely gone for the Shadow Ball first and then the T-Bolt, just in case this thing wanted to come in, or the what is it called, the Sneasel wanted to come in. But I think I stand by this play just a bit because I did drop to a Life Orb Sneasel's knockoff, even though I had the Clover Berry. I didn't do that calc beforehand. I found out there's a chance. It's like 103% max, so kind of scary. Actually, no, I would have dropped 100% because of the fact that I took a Whirlpool damage. So yeah, I'm fine with T-Bolting here. Obviously, though, it kind of sucks. And he actually ends up being Scarf, though, which is super unfortunate. I thought about him being Scarf. I was like, it doesn't really make much sense against my team because I have Zapdos as a free switch-in. Greninja obviously can come in and just, like, if he's locked into something like I don't know, a Fairy Move, not Fairy Move, if he's locked into, like, what's it called, Stone Edge, I can just go into that and be free. So it doesn't matter. He picks the KO there. I can go to my Zapdos here, force the switch, and go to a U-turn as he goes into his Latias, which is going to take a huge chunk of damage from this thing. Partly because it's not Mega Evolved, but partly because it probably isn't max defense. Like, it took 45% from that. Like we have 4 EVs in special. No, we have 20 EVs in special attack and physical attack, and a attack reducing nature, and we did like 45% to a Latias. That's crazy. I go to my Greninja here, and I can just click the U-turn here for free again. I'm just U-turning out on his team over and over and over, because really, what else is there to do? I can just keep gaining momentum against this team, and that's kind of how I want to play this game. Just gain momentum, get into my offensive Pokemon. Greninja outspeeds his entire team, bar the Bulu now, so I can just really break things once his Pokemon start getting chipped quite a bit. So at this point, I'm going to switch out and go into my Texas Man here, the Mega Gallade, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just going to go ahead and click Bulk Up. I was thinking about going into the Zapdos, but because he had a Whirlpool, I thought he might have Toxic, and I can't afford to get my Zapdos Toxic, especially while the Bulu's still around. So I want to kind of make sure that I was able to go into this thing. I can go for a Bulk Up and then a Thunder Punch, and we're going to do like 70%, which is really good damage. All I gotta do is just really wear down his Tentacruel, wear down his Suicune, and Greninja can just put in so much work. So that's kind of my play here. So Bulk Up comes out, we get the +1, and I can just kind of do whatever. And at the same time, it's also really important because the Bulu now can't OHKO me with the Horn Leech into range, which is great. He actually still doesn't OHKO me because thankfully we didn't get burnt there on the Scald. So at this point here, his Suicune's back to full health. I'm going to go for the Thunder Punch here, and maybe this was a misplay. I probably should have gone for the knockoff here to get rid of his residual recovery, but Thunder Punch comes out, and we're going to do so much damage, and that health bar just drops so fast, and it's because we actually got a crit there. So really unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure a knockoff would have KO'd that after. I think would have definitely done like at least 40% to the Suicune, and I think we've definitely done over half with a +1. We definitely would have 100% would have done over half with a +1 T-Punch. So he ended up going for the Toxic there, puts us on timer. I would rather if he went for the Scald just to do a bit more damage to us, but it's not a big deal. I go for the knockoff here, predicting a swap, and it also just KOs the Suicune just in case he does decide to stay in. And he goes to his Bulu, which could not be a more perfect turn because I go for the knockoff here. Actually, we're going to be able to... If Ice Punch KOs him at +1, then go to the Ice Punch on that turn would have been the best play because we would have taken less Toxic damage. But at the same time, like, we get rid of his Choice Scarf, we get a bit of recovery back from the terrain, we're going to lose a bit of health back from Toxic, and Ice Punch is going to be a guaranteed KO here because we are +1, and I doubt he's going to be max defense, max attack on this Bulu. So I just go for the Ice Punch here, and it is going to come out, it's going to do tons of damage, and we're going to be able to pick up our first KO of the match. So Mega Gallade comes in clutch, gets a KO for us, very, very nice. And now depending on what he wants to do, I don't know, like, depending on what he wants to do, I'm going to kind of go with that. He ends up going into something I really didn't expect him to go into, which is his Celesteela, because I revealed the Thunder Punch, and I'm +1. And you kind of have to have this thing healthy to deal with Greninja. So I'm going to go for a Thunder Punch here, and look at all this damage. And again, I was thinking, do I go for the Thunder Punch, or do I go for the knockoff to get rid of potential leftovers? I should have gone for the knockoff there. I love the fact that I got 75% off on this thing, but going for the knockoff, doing that 50%, and then making it so the only form of recovery he has left is the Leech Seed was my play. So... yeah, I messed up. And anyways, now I'm going to predict the Protect, and I'm going to actually just make a switch, and I believe I go into my Zapdos here right away after I take this Toxic Poisoning, and we take quite a bit of it. My only hope to kind of get this thing back in and do work is bringing out something slow or bringing it in after a Wish for my Sylveon. So I go into Zapdos here, and he goes for the Protect, so that's amazing, and I'm going to go for, I believe, the Discharge here, as he's probably going to switch out or just go for another Protect to scout what I'm going to do. So I don't think I've revealed the discharge yet, but I'm just going to go for that right now. Hopefully we can snag a nice little paralysis. It is, it's 30% chance to paralyze, so I'm just going to go for that. Discharge comes out, and he goes to Tentacruel, which is weird, especially because we don't 2KO that thing, which, again, very weird. So he's definitely like a max special defense, or around max special defense Tentacruel. So I'm going to go for I believe I'll go for a U-turn here, predicting him to go for a Toxic. Again, I do not want to have my Zapdos Toxic, so I'm going to go into my Gallade here, because again, I'm thinking he's either going to go for the Toxic or the Toxic Spike. So one or the other. I can go to Gallade and I can just click Knockoff or Thunder Punch or whatever it may be, and hopefully pick up a KO on something, because again, like this Gallade is so strong against this team. It just sucks that it's gotten worn down because of Toxic, and I really just wish he had gone into the Suicune and clicked Scald instead of Toxic, but it's okay. We're at 30 HP. We should be able to get a good hit off on something. I believe I go for the knockoff here, predicting the switch. At least I think I do, right? Yeah, I definitely go for the knockoff here. So he ends up going into his Sneasel, which does kind of wall me, and when I say kind of, I mean very loosely, because that's a resisted hit, and it did like 40%. So yeah, we're going to drop to whatever he goes for. So because of that, I decided to switch out, and I think I actually go into... What do I go into here? I go into my Greninja here, yeah, and I was kind of hoping he wasn't going to go for the knockoff. I was thinking he might go for the Ice Shard or the Icicle Crash, but we're going to get a Poison from the Toxic Spike that's up, and he goes to the knockoff, which really sucks because we lose our Expert Belt, which means our damage output is severely reduced. But I can go for the U-turn still. It'll still OHKO this thing from this range. It'll still give me momentum if I need it, and it's just a great play overall. So he ends up switching out, which I'm fine with. He goes to Funk V2, which is his Tentacruel. This is his switch into my Greninja. I didn't expect him to bring a special defensive Tentacruel as the answer, but I mean, it works. I thought it was going to be the Celesteela, but still, we did a decent chunk to him there. It was a crit with the U-turn, bring him below half, and I can now go hard into Suffering Zapdos and just click Discharge, basically. And again, Discharge is my play here pretty much 100% of the time, because I need to like get the chance to OHKO this thing, because if I do, like my Greninja just goes in against his entire team, and this is basically the one wall that I'm waiting on, since the Celesteela is pretty much worn down. So I go for the Discharge here. Unfortunately, he does go into the Latias this turn. He takes nothing from that, and I can now go for a U-turn here. I want to go for the Toxic, but I didn't know if it was my best option, just in case he had the sub, because if he had gone for Subjects, I don't think I revealed Toxic yet, if I'm mistaken. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn here, and we're going to be able to do a huge chunk of damage to him again. Now, of course, he does have the Recover there, so he's revealed Recover as his only move. I don't know what else he has. He might have Defog, he might have Draco Meteor, Side Shock, Psychic, Ice Beam, T-Bolt, whatever it may be. I don't know. But I go for the U-turn there. We do a clean chunk of damage to him, really nice, and I can go into Bubbles, my Sylveon. I'm still working on a nickname on this. I'm thinking Bubbles is kind of nice. Who knows? Obviously, it's not a water type, but I think Bubbles kind of works. So I'm going to go for the Baton Pass here, predicting the Celesteela to come in. I think that's my play. I can live any hit that thing wants to go for, unless it's 2 Side Shocks, I think, from the help of Matt. But thankfully, he does switch out into the Celesteela, and Baton Pass comes out, and we can go hard into Suffering the Zapdos. So in comes Suffering again. This thing just comes out on so many things on his team. Outspeeds things, goes for discharges, goes for U-turns, like just causes problems for so many things. As I get an alarm on my phone, I wonder what it is. It's nothing important. So Discharge comes out, and I don't know why he stayed in. I guess he was predicting the U-turn, but thankfully, thank God, we actually got the KO. He was telling me after the match, he actually thought that that was a near max roll, and he was kind of like, I guess, banking on the fact that it would be a low roll. I'm assuming that last part, but he did say he thought it was near a max roll. But because of our expert belt, we actually found out that it was a guaranteed KO. He was at, I think, 92 HP, he said, and we did minimum 96 based on his set. So that was so clutch. We managed to pick up the KO. The expert belt on the Zapdos is coming in so clutch. I would love to have leftovers recovery, but still, this damage output is huge. In comes this thing, and I don't know what he wants to do, but I'm going to go for a Toxic now, as he goes for the Ice Beam. And depending on the spread, we could actually take 2 of these, but unfortunately, he looks to be a max special attack Mega Latias. And from this damage, this could be like a no special attack, or very little special attack rather, Mega Latias, but it's also most likely going to be a max one, because he probably got a max min roll. If this is the min roll, honestly, 120 is the min roll that he could get with an Ice Beam if he is a max special attack Latias. And because of that, I say I'm going to go into my Gallade and just kind of sack it off. We would live a hit if he had gone for a Recover, but going for basically the Ice Beam there was his play, and we lose our Mega Gallade. So we're now down, I believe it's 4-4. Like maybe 4-3, 4-4, I think. But I go into my Greninja here. U-turn is a very free play for me. I'm just going to go for that U-turn here. He's going to switch out, and I believe he goes back into his Tentacruel, and Tentacruel is just such a pain in the ass to deal with. So I U-turn out here, and I'm running low on HP on my Zapdos. I want to go in and just click the recover, or the roost rather, but he's going to go right into his Latias. It's just going to end. This is a never-ending cycle, so I really need to kind of make a play here and hope that he stays in and just sacks off his Tentacruel. And honestly, it's not looking nice. I was kind of thinking to myself, like, should I like go for a timer win here? Should I like preserve health my Mons? Is that what I should be doing here? So I don't know. That thought crossed my mind, but I don't know. Anyways, I go for the discharge here. Again, really hoping that he would stay in. We do nothing to the Latias, and I'm just going to go for I'm going to switch out hard. Like, I'm going to go right out away into my Sylveon here, as he's going to be able to just roost up, or recover up rather. Had I U-turn, it would have been great. We'd have chipped him down a lot more, but I just couldn't risk the fact that he killed me, because Zapdos just still does so much work to his team. I needed a live for the Suicune in case he gets off a rest. I needed a live for the Tentacruel because it's such a pain to deal with. So yeah, but in comes the Sylveon here. I believe I go for a Hyper Voice here. Is there a Hyper Voice or a Wish? I think it's a I don't know. I think it's a Wish. I think I go Wish, Heal Bell, right? Or I go Hyper Voice, Wish, Heal Bell. One of the three, one of the two options. So he's going to go into Defunk here. This is his switch in every time. I do like 10% with Hyper Voice, and you're going to see he does nothing, and he recovers back 8% with Leftovers. So yeah, we did nothing there, like at all. So I kind of wall this thing once I get rid of the poison, obviously, because a Sludge Bomb would only 3KO me if I was poisoned. It's a 4KO with Leftovers and without the poison. So yeah, Skull comes out, and this shows me he probably doesn't have a poison move. So I kind of wall this thing. And again, this is where, for the second time in the game, thoughts kind of come up like, should I like stall a bit? I'm going to put my phone on mute so you guys don't have to deal with that. Julia sent me a meme. All right, that's what I get for dating a memester. Anyways, he's going to get the layer of Toxic Spikes here. Very, very important to his success to get the second layer. I do have the Rapid Spin on Donphan, but I don't really see myself going into Donphan right now. Really no use to do it. Like everything on his team kind of hits it for super effective damage. Ice Beam on Latias, Scald on Suicune and Tentacruel, and Ice Cold Crash on Sneasel. So it really wasn't the best brain this game. Anyways, I'm just going to go for Wishes. I'm going to Heal Bell up, just do all those kind of things. And like, it's basically kind of repetitive. Like, it is what it is. He's going to burn me here with that Scald, which is better, honestly, than if I had gotten Toxic Poisoned. I'm fine with that. Taking that 6% return, negating my Leftovers is fine. And I'm okay with that. So right here, I believe I go for a... Do I go for a Wish? And then I think I go for a Wish, and then I Baton Pass out. And I try and get into my Zapdos to get some HP back. Because Zapdos obviously is down on health, and I want to make sure I can live the next Ice Beam that the Latias wants to go for. I can just U-turn out, and I can just rinse and repeat over and over with this exchange with the Sylveon and the Tentacruel. So he's getting back some HP. Like, look at him. He's basically back to half, and that's crazy because this thing should be gone. I wish it was gone because it's being so annoying just because of its insane special bulk. It's really what's stopping my... Yeah, no, this is the only thing that's stopping my Greninja from sweeping. If I get this thing at like 20%, bring my Greninja, then I just win the game, like outright, because everything else drops to a hit from my Greninja. Whether it's Ice Beam, whether it's U-turn, whether it's HP Electric. So 30%, that's all I need, but I just can't get it there. So in comes my Zapdos here, and I can just fire off I believe I go for a U-turn here, or do I go for a discharge? I think I go for a discharge, actually. Do I discharge? I think I discharge here. Yeah. So I'm going to throw off the discharge here, and he stays in. I don't know why he did, but I guess he was trying to make a play again, just like the Celesteela, and it really paid off for us. He does live the hit on like 1 HP, but it's fine because I can just go for a U-turn here. We are in range, unfortunately, for the Ice Beam from the Mega Latias, so I can't stay in and go for the discharge, so I just go for the U-turn here. But thankfully, he does switch out, and he does go into Finally, which is his Mega Latias. So this thing is going to take another 25-ish plus % from this U-turn. Amazing. It's going to take toxic damage. Look at that. It's so far down. I can go right into, I believe I go into my Greninja here. And look, right now, the game's starting to look really, really, really in our favor because of the drop to the, what is it called? I'm trying to think of it. What is it called? The Tentacruel. There we go. Because it took the damage. And right here, I'm kind of noticing it now. I could just stay in. I have to figure out how much Ice Shard is going to be doing to me. And that's kind of why I don't want to stay in a little bit, just in case it becomes a bit of a problem, the Sneasel, because let's say I do drop to the Ice Shard, I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go for the U-turn here. Obviously, I think because everything drops to an Ice Beam except for the Sneasel, which will drop to a U-turn. So I should just go for Ice Beam here. I claim 4 kills with my Greninja, but instead I go for the U-turn here, which I'm not mad about it because we do manage to catch the Tentacle and pick up the KO, and Greninja managed to pick up its 4th KO on the season. But I'm realizing we could pick up 4 KOs with our Greninja right here. Had I just gone for Ice Beam. But again, that Toxic Spike was really what deterred me because losing health every turn isn't something I was kind of down to do. So it is what it is. But in comes Bubbles here, and this is kind of a misplay, but kind of not, because he can just go into his Suicune now and rest up because he'll speed me. So yeah, not the greatest play on my part. I should have gone to Zapdos here, but again, I was kind of afraid of the what's it called, the Sneasel. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go for the Hyper Voice here just in case he decides to go for the Whirlpool or something. But no, he does go for the rest, and that's big because at this point, this thing won't drop to obviously a Hyper Voice. It probably won't even be 5-hit KO'd because it's obviously so fat, and I don't have any investment into my special attack with my Sylveon. So yeah, Hyper Voice comes out, and look at this. This is kind of pitiful damage. Like, I mean, to be fair, it's like 20%. I'll take it. And I believe right here I'm going to go for the... Do I go for the Baton Pass or a Hyper Voice? I think it's one or the other. Like, you guys have to forgive me. It was a really long battle with a lot of repetitive scenes, like Tentacruel versus Zapdos, Tentacruel versus Sylveon, like Tentacruel versus tons of things. But he ends up going back into Finally here, which is his Latias, and I go for a Wish. That's it. So I went for the Wish here, get back some HP just in case. I was trying to, I guess, go back into my Zapdos here to gain some HP so I can live guaranteed the Sneasel Icicle Crash. But he's going to take a hit from the Toxic Poisoning. I'm going to fire off a Hyper Voice here, and if he has Psy Shock, he's not going to be able to kill me, but it's going to do a huge chunk of damage. So he ends up going for the Psychic, which is going to do a bit less than the Psy Shock would, or around the same, probably because Psy Shock has less power, but we have more special defense EVs, or investment, or a higher special defense stat. And Sylveon does manage to pick up a KO here with the Hyper Voice, so that's huge. Mega Latias only picked up 1 kill against us, which is amazing. It was such a big threat to us, but Sylveon just was able to really wall it effectively, and we were able to like pressure it offensively really well with our Greninja and our Mega Late, I guess, when it was in the game. So and our Mismatch just would have been able to. Anyways, in comes the Sleeping Suicune. I'm going to go for a Baton Pass here right away. I'm going to go hard into my Zapdos. This will allow me to 2KO it with a Discharge. Discharge will always be a 2KO from this range, especially because he's taken, I think, like 20-ish%. And even if he gets recovery back from leftovers, it's still not going to be enough. So I'm going to go into that Zapdos here, and I'm going to click Discharge a few times. I'm going to be able to pick up a win here. Like, there's really nothing that he can do at this point. The Suicune is asleep for 1 more turn guaranteed, and we do outspeed it, so we can fire off 2 uninterrupted discharges. If he switches out into the Sneasel, we should OHKO that with a discharge. So yeah, that's a huge chunk of damage, and he's still asleep. So I'm going to go for another discharge here, and we'll be able to pick up the kill on the Suicune. And look, Zapdos was amazing this match. Everything that came in kind of did its job. Donphan was just there. I almost played this game like it was 6-on-5, but that's not really fair to say because Donphan was going to be there to help out just in case things got rough and I needed to have a Rock Helmet damage. So that's kind of what it was there for, but it's okay. He's going to go for the Icicle Crash here. I found out, by the way, I'm always out of range. I think the max he could have done was 114 to me, and we're at 122, so we're living the hit. And I'm going to go for a U-turn here, and Zapdos picks the KO. So like I was saying, everything did its job. Zapdos was incredible. Greninja could have gotten more kills, but it's okay. We spread the wealth out here a little bit. But yeah, we end up picking up a 4-0 win here. A very long and stressful game against Splurge. It was a ton of fun, though. I really enjoyed playing him. We obviously are 2-0 now against him, I think. But I definitely think Splurge has a really strong team, even though it does have quite a few weaknesses to Bolt Beam coverage. It has, I think, he's really good against ground types. Like, he's insanely good against ground types. I'm surprised he doesn't have Heatran, honestly, even though Bulutran is a very standard core. But he does, I guess, have a Celesteela, so yeah, never mind then. Look, he's got a really cool team. It's got a lot of really awesome threats, and we just managed to get the win this time around. This match, I was kind of disappointed with how it went. It should have done a bit more for me, but that's kind of how I played it. Had I predicted it was Scarf and gone to my Zapdos, I would have been in great shape. But it is what it is. Anyways, so we pick up a 4-0 win. We are now 2-0. I believe we're +7 differential, and we have Greninja and Zapdos kind of leading the pack. Greninja with 4 kills, 0 deaths. Zapdos with 3 kills, 0 deaths. And yeah, honestly, I'm enjoying my team so far. I think this team worked out really well with all the momentum, just getting into my threats over and over and over. Baton Pass, U-turn, and U-turn, yeah. So that's the video, guys. So we're approaching 30 minutes. Jesus Christ, 30 minutes of recording straight. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys stuck around for the entire video, whether it's on 1 times speed or 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed, I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me if you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have been here for the entire video, make sure to leave a like on the video. Of course, please go down, comment below, and comment, I don't know, comment toxic spikes, okay? Just put that there, all right? And
toxic spikes?
Yes, toxic spikes.
Sick.
Yeah, sick. All right, that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, again, make sure to leave a like on the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.